Now to a question that many are asking. After almost 50 years, is Roe versus Wade now in its final days? The U.S. Supreme Court refused to block Texas's new heartbeat law, and this sets the stage for the legal fight that Republicans have long waited for. We're starting right there with our next guest, a well-known name in the Texas Democrats, Congressman Joaquin Castro from San Antonio. Congressman Castro, it's good to see you again. Thanks for the time this morning. Let me ask you about the heartbeat law in Texas. It's now the most restrictive in the country. Other states now looking at modeling it. The question is, do you think Roe v. Wade is in jeopardy right now?
Well, there's no question with the Supreme Court's ruling the other day that it's certainly in jeopardy. Absolutely. This is, as President Biden said, a bizarre law. I believe that it's fundamentally unconstitutional. That it is an overreach, that the very conservative Republican Texas legislature is trying to take away women's health care rights. And what you're going to see is a full-out legal battle from here on out on this.
Let's talk voting rights here briefly. The House passed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act recently, but there are not enough votes, as everyone knows, to get this passed in the Senate. Time is obviously critical. Democrats could lose majorities next year. How concerned are you that the Senate will not act before next year's midterms?
I'm still hopeful that the Senate, the United States Senate, where you have a Democratic majority, as it looks around the country and sees what's going on in Texas, our home state, but also in places like Florida and Arizona, will be inspired to take action, that Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema and others will be inspired to take action. I was proud of the Texas Democrats for going to Washington and really putting pressure on the U.S. Senate. So I hope by the end of this term, we will pass voting rights.
If you had to give it a percentage, what do you think, 50-50 or more than that?
Well, I'm going to hold off on the percentages for now, but I'm hopeful. I'm still optimistic. We still have time to do it.
The House will take up two major bills a little later this month, the infrastructure bill and President Biden's $3.5 trillion budget. Every vote is obviously needed with this. Democrats have to remain unified, as you know. Is either bill in jeopardy of not passing?
Right now, I think that there's pretty good support for both. I know Joe Manchin, for example, expressed concern about the $3.5 trillion on reconciliation. And so that will have to be worked through. It's going to take both the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, but also the president stepping in and doing what LBJ used to do when he was president in the 1960s, which is really lean on Senator Manchin and other senators to pass those two bills.
Congressman, COVID has forced some Texas schools to close across the state. Floresville ISD, I just saw that it's going to extend its Labor Day holiday weekend going on right now, in hopes of COVID cases going down. Is there a wider role, a nuclear option at all for the federal government to play in states like Texas?
I know the Department of Education is looking at that now. For example, the department is suing 5 states, I believe, not including Texas for now, because those states are banning any kind of mask requirements in schools. And Greg Abbott has handled this situation terribly and has led to a lot of suffering. He's really hamstrung local school districts from being able to do what they can to protect students. And so it's no surprise that I think now it's over a dozen districts in Texas, school districts, that have been forced to close their doors, and students are falling further and further behind because of bad policy.
Congressman Castro, thank you for the time.
Thank you.